Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome to the show.
It's the Tiny and Katy Show, powered by Roots Hair Design, Route 11 in Marion.
Hey, I'm Tiny.
Welcome to November. It's Katy. Hello.
I hope everybody's doing great. You have recovered from the sugar coma that was trick-or-treat nights. We just had ours earlier in the week, and it was so cool, Katy, to dress up. I'm assuming you saw on my Facebook page.
I saw it on
the
Facebook.
outfit.
Yeah. Yes. Let me tell you a few things about my Halloween. I'll keep it brief, if you will. On Friday, my friend Mallory and I dressed up as our administration. Did you see the picture on Facebook?
I did, and I'm going to pop that up here as you're talking about it.
Okay, now I'm going to try to find one of the four of us so you can see us all together. But I'm telling you, we brought more joy into that school on Friday with those outfits than I think ever before.
Let me tell you this. You were unrecognizable.
We absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
She nailed it more than I did just because my vice principal, he always wears his shirt tucked in like that in the front like she did. And that's like his stance. My principal doesn't have those distinct qualities like he does. So there wasn't a whole lot of things for me to do to like mimic my principal.
Right.
But people absolutely loved it. And what we did was we kept getting on the walkie because everybody always has their walkie on. They're very quick to respond on the walkie.
Sure.
And we would say like fake principal to staff, we have a free jeans day on Monday over, and people were just getting so into it. And it was so much fun. It was, the kids had a great time with it. The admin, they were really good sports about it. It was never done before. So it was quite a hit. And then on Saturday, I went to a Halloween party, and let me think how I want to word this. Do you know my epic Halloween costume that I've had since I was in college? It's inflatable.
Yeah, it's yes, it's a penis.
Oh, okay. We're just going to come right out with it. So,
well, it is what it is.
Let's
It
just do
probably is one of the OG inflatable
It's
costumes, which are now all the
straight up.
rage.
Straight
Yeah.
up. So back when I was a freshman or a sophomore in college, so we're talking 2004, 2005, I got this inflatable penis costume because all my friends call me Dick. I saw it at Spencer's. I thought it was hilarious. And I used to put this thing on and wear it all the time in college. I would go to the cafeteria at Valentine's Day and I'd hand out condoms to everybody. I would put it on a random Friday night, just run up and down the street. Everybody knew, like, there's the inflatable penis. There's Katy.
Right.
Here she is. It's Friday night. Here we go. And I would wear it all the time. I mean, not just at Halloween, in the middle of summer, in the middle of spring. We were bored. We'd be like, hey, can you go put the penis on and run around campus a little bit? And I would. So
it wasn't hard for you to do.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
No, but it took a lot of balls to do that.
I
really.
was just going to say that. Don't get testy with me. So
Okay.
I've retired it obviously for a while because I'm a teacher and I don't feel like it is very appropriate to maybe have pictures of me in this costume on Facebook where people can see it. So I've
Right.
taken her and I've put her kind of on the back burner.
So it's
Well,
a her.
Yes, it's a she.
Okay.
It's always been a she.
Gotcha.
And so my girlfriends at the gym, they asked me if I would wear it to the Halloween party on Saturday that we all had. And I said, I would love to, but I don't want anybody taking pictures. I don't want anybody tagging me on Facebook. This has to be something that we see, we laugh, I take off and I change. And that's the end of it.
Right.
Because it is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
So I got her out, put her on, turned it on. R.I.P. penis. It is dead. So it has lasted from 2004 to 2022. I think I paid $50 for that thing. The battery pack is completely dead. It was completely corroded. It doesn't turn on. It's over. So
what a shame.
that was very traumatizing for me because you know how much I love that thing and how long I've had it, and it became like
that
a
is
part of
so.
me.
That must have been so deflating for you.
I ended up dressing as a wine bottle, which was not nearly as cool. I know. I put on this maroon dress and had these like big Shenandoah Vineyards where I work part-time labels on my front and the back. I mean, I looked okay, but so that was really fun. And anyway, so Halloween was a blast. I was so excited because I got 2 bags of candy. Again, not one trick-or-treater, not one person came to the house. So now we have that debacle of now there's all this leftover candy. I don't want to eat it, but it's there. Like, what's going to happen to it?
And it feels bad if you waste it.
Yeah, I feel you don't want to just throw it away, especially like a
No,
Reese's because that's money.
you
Like that's
can't.
straight money.
Not to
Um,
mention, you should be thrown in prison if you do that.
I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean,
Oh, I would.
live your life and do your thing. But I did want to get your opinion on something that I was talking about with my roommate recently. Do you know when you this and I don't think I realized it bothered me until it was brought up and brought to my attention. And I wanted to see if you had the same kind of reaction to this or not. Costco is one of my favorite places on the planet. I love their
Yeah, I wish
pizza.
we had one.
I love their hot dogs are the best. The deals are great. You can't leave without having a smile on your face. You know, the samples, everything's great. Costco has always been known. They're like the OGs of checking your receipt when you walk out the door. They look at your receipt. And from what I was told from one Costco employee, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, is that they look at your receipt, they look for one item, and they look for it in your cart, and then they slash your receipt with their marker. Well, I don't know if yours does, but our local Walmart started doing not slashing the receipt, but they check your receipts now. And now when I go to, now Costco's different because you're pushing a cart, you're not holding anything in your hands. You know that that's what's going to happen when you walk out the door. You have your receipt ready. But when I'm coming out of Walmart and I have 27 bags in my hand, I don't know which one I put the receipt in. And I get stopped and I ask, can I see your receipt? I get really pissed off,
Yeah.
really mad. And it happened to me a couple days ago. I wasn't too angry. It was because I bought a seltzer water and I didn't put the bubblies in a bag. So they wanted to make sure that I paid for it because, you know, if it's in a bag, apparently it's paid for. And I said, yeah, of course, here you go, no worries. And then on Sunday, I spent $140, got a ton of groceries. I'm walking out. Can I see your receipt? I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? I have zero idea what bag it's in. Well, I want to check. I forget what it was. Some high. I think I bought. I don't remember something that cost maybe $20, and I had to put
Right.
all of my bags down. And you know how, like, I have like 10 bags over here, 10
Sure.
bags over here. I got welts
Yeah.
on my arm.
Yeah.
I'm barely keeping it up. I have to put it all down to go in to get out some MFN receipt so that they can make sure I paid for my rotisserie chicken. Put them right back up, go out to my car, and I'll tell you what, Tiny, I was pissed. Like absolutely irate about it. And I really wanted to say mean words and I didn't, like whatever. This is your job, but somebody told me that they're actually not, you don't have to show them your receipt. They're not
You don't.
technically required to show. That's what I was told. Is that
They're not.
accurate?
Yeah, so let me explain how this works for anybody who's often wondered this. When you are shopping at Costco, Sam's, or BJ's, something like that, in the membership agreement for those stores, you agree to have your receipt checked and to be stopped before you leave. They reserve that right to do that. So
Okay.
there's no legal
You have to. You sign that you would
Yeah.
do it. Okay.
Sure. At any other store, you enter into no agreement with them when you enter their store. So here's what happens. The moment that you pay for your items, that's your property.
Mm-hmm.
You own it. Them asking you to show proof of purchase would be the equivalent of asking them to show proof of purchase of your shoes as you walk out. That's your property. I am not legally obligated to show anyone my property that I own. I'm not legally obligated to prove to anyone that it's my property.
Am I a complete a-hole if I am like, no, sorry, ma'am or sir, I'm not showing you my receipt. See ya.
Okay, so here's
Like, what would
how
happen?
here's how I do this. You said it already one time. It's their job. They're an employee being told you need to do this. So that particular individual is not a bad person. They're not trying to upset anyone when they do this. So, and I want to make that clear, not necessarily to you, but to everyone listening when I say this. And I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say this, okay, or when I do this. If I am in zero hurry whatsoever, which I always try to be, yeah, okay, you do your job, fine, whatever. I don't necessarily take offense to it.
Just get behind Tiny when he's driving. You'll know he's never in a hurry to do anything.
Oh, shut up.
Dear
Shut up.
Lord.
But if I'm just not feeling it and I'm not in the mood and I only have one bag or two bags and I'm like, this makes no sense to me. And they say, sir, could I check your receipt? I'll say, I'm sorry, I don't have time. Thank you. Have a great day. And I just keep on, and I keep moving and I never stop.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm never a jerk. I make eye contact. I am not dismissive to them, but I do not give because I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
I just it's like walking by someone and saying, here's a sales pitch for you. Have a great day. I don't have to listen to you.
I don't know if that's common knowledge that you don't have to do that. I don't
know that it's I don't know that it's common knowledge. It probably isn't. What I want to make very clear to people is just don't be a jerk.
No, of course
to these
not.
people. They're doing their job, really. No one's out to get anybody. And don't get me wrong. I understand why they want to do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, our friend, I won't name his name because I don't want him to get in any type of trouble, but we have a friend who works for a major retailer. He has told me that he said, well, so they had like 5 TVs stolen the other day. And I say to him, it's like, how in the world, how does this happen? How do you just get a TV out? He said they literally walk out with it in the box. Mm-hmm. They just walk out the door. Mm-hmm. I was talking to a boy, and I don't know his name, doesn't matter, but the store was Under Armour. Now, this is shocking to me. He was telling me how they have massive amounts of theft. And I said, well,
At Under Armour?
At Under Armour, oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, that's pretty shocking.
And I said, well, that one. What's your process for that? Do you call the police? Do you stop them? Do you whatever? He said, no one says anything to him. They don't call the police. No one says a word to him. They just go back and write it up.
Do you think that people are maybe too afraid of a confrontational conversation if they're suspecting it, but they don't want to, accuse somebody of doing something, so it's easier to just not even approach the situation?
I think there are two factors in play here. Number one is almost to what you said, is the confrontation can lead, if it leads to anything physical, we're in a litigious society. So if you wind up tackling someone and they bang their head, even though they were stealing it and they were in the wrong and they walked out the store with it, they're going to come back and sue you, and they will.
Well,
and number two is...
And everybody's recording everything too.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a no-win situation. And the second part is you don't know what that person who's taking that's capable of. Mm-hmm. And I can't think of a job that I could do that I would be willing to put my life on the line for it. Mm-hmm. Least of which somebody walking out with a box of Pampers. I'm just, sorry, I'm not going to risk skinning my knee for that. It's, have better policies in place.
So here's a question for you, because this happened to me the other day. I have never gotten out my camera and recorded anything when there was a public scene happening. I've seen a few things. Well, because
typically it's difficult to film yourself while you're making a public scene.
Obviously, I don't want to film myself. Yes.
Well, yeah.
But I've never been in a situation where I was like, oh my gosh, somebody's got to document this. A few times it's been close where I thought, oh, this could go somewhere. I might need to document this for, the police. But the other day, I'm going to try to tell this story, but I'm not going to give it justice. I know I'm not. I went to, on Friday, one of the girls that works at my school had this taco bar gathering at her house. And this school is newer, so there hasn't been a lot of social events, especially because when they opened, it was during COVID. Mm-hmm. So there's not a ton of camaraderie between the teachers just because, they haven't
really been around each other.
Exactly. And it's 2 floors. So the first year was the COVID year when we were virtual and AB scheduled. And the second year was when we were wearing masks and everybody stay away. This is like the first normal year that they've had. So this teacher threw this gathering so everybody could get together and, get to know each other. She lives in a very secluded area. I mean, it is way back there. You take back road after back road after back road, and then all of a sudden you're at her house, and her house is beautiful. My friend Julie and I end up going together. We go to the party. We eat some tacos. We have a great time. We're getting ready to leave, and there's a truck. It actually turned out to be my principal because he left right before us. Stopped on one of the back roads. And I'm like, what is he doing? What is this guy doing? There are 5 dogs running in like underneath his car, beside the other side of his car, all over the place. And he's too afraid to move, obviously, because there's 5 dogs running all around his car. And we see it. We see the dogs. Julie's behind me. I'm in front of her. And then my principal's in front of me. I don't know how long he was there. It must have been 5 minutes.
How long did it take you to figure out it was your principal?
A couple minutes.
Okay. But you did eventually know.
I did. I saw him in the mirror and I was like, oh, that's Justin up there. And he wasn't moving, and he would start moving, and then a dog would run in front and he would stop. and then he would start moving, a dog would run, he would stop. And I mean, there eventually I said, where the hell is the owner of these dogs? She's standing right over there in the field watching all of this happen. And she's just like, come here, Tucker. Come here, Coco. Come here, Gigi. Treat. And Tiny, this went on for over 10 minutes where the three of us are moving a little bit and then stopping because the dog ran out in front. A little bit and then stopping. And I said, could you please get your dogs? And she's like, oh, just go. They'll move. They'll move. And she gave zero cares. Zero. She stood there. Come here, Tucker, got treat. Come here, got treat. I'm pretty sure she was on her phone at one point. Five dogs are running all around our cars. And I almost got out my camera and recorded it and was like, I want everybody to see this situation that's happening. This woman owns 5 dogs. We've been here for 10 minutes and we literally cannot move because the dogs just keep running in front of our cars.
So what eventually happened?
Eventually, when the dogs there was a clearing where the dogs were not in front of Justin's car. We all had this like thing going where I would say, Justin, you're clear. You're clear. And he would go until eventually we got far enough away. And then Julie did it for me. You're clear. You can go until we eventually could get away from the dogs. I mean, it was over 10 minutes. We were sitting there waiting.
That
and it was
would
like,
make my blood boil. I tell you, I would have language. Oh my God.
I'm like, I really wanted to scream at this lady, but I'm on a back road. I don't know what she's got in her pocket, like I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, unless I start hearing banjo music, I'm yelling at her to get her damn dogs out of the way.
Well, honestly, where we were, it wouldn't have been too far-fetched, but I just fetched.
Far-fetched. Yeah.
Man, sorry. I didn't even get that one.
I know.
So that was probably the closest I ever came where I just was like, are you kidding me? I've seen people do dumb things and things that I don't understand, but it was the amount of time. I get it. Your dog's ran out. You need a second to I'm so sorry. Thank you for stopping. At one point, I almost said, lady, I'm going to go. And if your dogs don't move, it is not my fault. And I'm an animal lover. At that point, I was like, whatever, I got to get out of here. So I didn't know if you've ever gotten to a point like that where you felt like you needed to record a situation because you couldn't believe what was actually happening in front of you.
I'd probably have to think about it, but there's been times where things have happened in front of me that I just don't know what's going on. Like it's just this most. Well, it's fair enough, but I'm sure I've witnessed drug deals and things like that, but I certainly am not getting my phone out to do that. What, you've never been to Baltimore?
Where have you seen this, Tiny?
You've never been to Baltimore? Oh, I don't know. Any day of the week?
Baltimore?
Yes.
You've been to Baltimore?
Yes.
Tiny, you don't ever leave little Waynesboro, Pennsylvania.
Hey,
How have you seen anything remotely close to a drug deal?
I used to travel a lot, okay? I mean, a lot. You know that. Me and Dave, we go up and down the roads all the time.
You traveled to New Jersey twice a year. Oh, boy. Saddle up, kids. Not to mention when somebody goes to like Walgreens to buy Advil, that's not a drug deal. They're actually allowed to go and buy those things.
No, it is a drug deal, especially when you have a coupon and you get a great price on them. Okay, so I don't want to hear what you're talking about.
I can't even imagine you saying this right now, Tiny. I've seen a drug deal. Please.
Now listen to this. I hate to do this because we've moved so far from it, but if you hadn't broken in with this story of the dogs circling the wagons here, we were talking about shopping at Sam's and Costco and things of that nature. There is one thing that really pisses me off, and I love Sam's to death. There's nothing makes me happier than our bi-weekly trip to Sam's. And I don't know if Costco does this or not, so either you're going to know about it or you won't. When you walk in the main area, the main aisle that everyone goes to, no sooner do you get through the entryway and you go cut the corner and you're going to what I would call Action Alley, I think is what they actually call it. There is this setup, like a kiosk of, I don't know if it's DirecTV or AT&T. It's changed over the years, Verizon, something like that. It's either a cell phone or a TV service. It's one of the two things. And if they are not otherwise engaged with someone, they're stopping you or they're trying to stop you. And it always starts the same way. It's, hey, how you doing today? And you know what they want. They will try to sell you something. And I'll again, now I try not to be a jerk. Emphasis on try here. Okay. Because there's something in my mind that's always bothered me about this, but I'll go, I'm great and I'm not interested. And I keep on walking. So what bothers me most about this is it'd be one thing if something like that happened at Walmart or Target. That's one thing. I pay to shop at Sam's. Mm-hmm. I pay a membership. If there's any place that I shop that I should be able to do so without having a sales pitch thrown my way, wouldn't you think it would be at the place where you're paying for the privilege to shop? Right?
I don't know. I don't agree with you on this one. I mean,
how not? How could you not agree with that?
Well, because I guess I'm not hassled, if I walk by it and nobody reproaches me like that. You know what kills me? And I have a really guilty conscience.
Me, if you don't agree with me about this.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't get hassled at Costco.
But what I'm saying, so that doesn't exist at Costco. Is that what you're saying?
No, I know what you're talking about. Like, there definitely is a person that's sitting there that represents a phone company, but they don't. I don't think they've ever spoken to me.
So what you're saying is they're not aggressive. Fine,
no,
and I'm not saying these people are necessarily aggressive, and I wouldn't mind if someone simply just asked me, "Hey, how you doing today?" I'm great, and then you just have a great day. But I know they want to sell me something.
Right, obviously. Well, okay. How do you handle this? you go to Walmart, right? And you're like, oh, the last thing I want to do is be hassled to buy something today. And the Girl Scouts come up to you.
Oh,
I mean, they are relentless. Relentless. And they're like 8, 9, 10. Hi, I'm working on my entrepreneurship badge. Do you want to buy a box of cookies for $6? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Keep trying,
little girl. But yeah. I mean, I feel horrible. I will literally go into another entrance if I see, and it's not that I don't want to support the Girl Scouts. I don't want the cookies in my house more than anything. I just don't want it in my house. I would rather just give you like the $10 and be like, here, go rock on, sister. But man,
which you're not going to do.
But that'll get you. They'll send kids out your way because it's a kid. What are you supposed to do? One time I went to this farmer's market. I don't know if it was the Boy Scouts or some club or group. They were selling like peanut cans, and this boy asked us if we wanted to buy some peanuts, and we said, you know what we do on the way out. Well, we had forgotten that happened, and on the way out, like this little kid followed us like all the way to the car and was like, oh, you guys said on the way out, it looks like you're on your way out, like do you want the peanuts? And I was like, damn it, here's my $20, kid, give me those freaking peanuts, even though I'm not allowed to eat nuts. Bring it on, kiddo. It's like, it's really, really hard when you that's such a fine line because you don't want to be rude, but you also want to be stern. And I think that's why sometimes it's really hard for people to travel, especially if you go to another country, especially another country that doesn't have a lot of money, because you are getting hit left and right with people. Right. And you're getting hit in ways that you don't even understand that's happening. Do you remember? Here's a story.
The guy who was on the bridge or whatever?
On the bridge.
People were jumping off the bridge or something. And was that South Africa you went to?
They were jumping off the bridge?
Remember the guy, your cab driver or whatever told you that people will actually like jump off a bridge to get hit so that they can do something?
They would walk into the middle of traffic. They didn't jump off the bridge. But no, this is a story. This is a story that involves you in the United States, actually. Tiny, for his 30th birthday, him and his mom and I were talking, and we were like, let's go to Aruba. Let's go on some like really tropical vacation. Tiny, what do you want to do?
I will never live this down as long as I draw breath, ever.
So literally on the table is going to Aruba. That's what Tiny's mother and I had wanted to do. We were like, let's plan it. We'll split the cost for Tiny. Here we go. Let's do it. We pitch it to Tiny, and Tiny's like, no, I'm not going anywhere unless it's Ocean City, Maryland. If it's not Ocean City, Maryland, I'm not going. And we're like, okay, Tiny, what would you like to do for your birthday? So what does Tiny want to do for his birthday? His 30th birthday celebration? He wants us all to go to D.C. Oh, can get on board with that. We're going to go to D.C. We're going to even go to the Old Ebbitt Grill. Can get on board. And then we're going to go to the Holocaust Museum. Now, I love the Holocaust Museum. Do not get me wrong. But it is one of the most depressing places on the planet that you could possibly attend. Yeah. And so we go for Tiny's 30th birthday. There's like 12 of us there. we all come out like hysterically crying, like, man, I cannot believe that this is what we did today for your birthday celebration.
Yeah, and the guy you were with at the time,
God.
Jeff, he looks at me, he comes up to me, and he would call me Goose, and he said, Goose, I'm going to be honest with you, I love you, but this is the most depressing birthday celebration that I have ever been part of. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? And as a matter of fact, I had kept telling you, you over the years had known me to say how much I had wanted to go to the Holocaust Museum. And if memory serves, doing that for my 30th birthday wasn't my idea. So I almost want to say, idea. No, I'm pretty sure it was your idea.
100% not. My idea was to go to Aruba. Do you think that I would ever plan an itinerary where a museum is on it for the main event?
If you're planning it for me.
You know, I'm a little bit selfish when it comes to any kind of event. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
We're not going.
We're going to go somewhere. If Katie's planning it, there's someone who's going to have pumpkins everywhere and Halloween decor.
That's right. But the whole point of the story was when we got into D.C., I don't know who gave us a map because we were at the Smithsonian. Mm-hmm. Somebody gave us a map, and Jeff and I had stopped to try to read said map to try to figure out exactly where we were going. And as we stopped and we were reading the map, this gentleman comes up to us and he says, you were gone. You were ahead of us. This gentleman comes up and says, do you guys need some help? And we were like, yeah, that'd be great. Obviously, because we're looking at a map, and he says, where are you trying to go? We said the Holocaust. And he's like, oh, okay, great. You know, you go here, turn right, whatever. And we're like, great, thank you so much. And he puts out his hand, and I slapped it like, yeah, man, high five. Yeah. Here we go.
Thanks, dude.
He goes like this. And I was like, I'm not.
Let me hit it again?
I'm not giving you money. And then he was like, F you mother effers, like I effing helped you. And we're walking down the street to catch up to you, and he's behind us screaming at us. Absolutely screaming at us. I was like shaking. Yeah. I was like, I'm absolutely terrified right now. This guy, and that's what happens when you travel abroad in some places. They come up to you and they help you, like, because they know you're a tourist. They can tell that you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
So you think, oh, look at this kind person helping me. And then they harass you publicly, loudly, and you're embarrassed until you give them money. And then eventually, what do? You give them money because you're like, all right, here's a $5. Get away from me.
Yeah, bet me. Bet me.
Yeah,
I will be as cheap as the day is long. You could come at me like, I'm not giving you money. You want to yell in a foreign language that I don't even understand? I don't care what you think.
Well, I got yelled at by a cab driver when I was in Morocco in Arabic. And I'm telling you what, that guy could have asked me for anything, and I was going to give it to him just so he would stop yelling at me. I didn't know what he was saying. I didn't know why he was upset. He just started yelling at me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am so terrified right now. Like, here's my purse. Let me just get the hell out of this car and go back to my house. Yeah. I don't even care what's in there anymore.
Wow. You want me to cut my hair? Do you need my hair? What is it that you need? Like, you like the shirt?
Do you like my bra? Yeah. I mean, whatever you want, it's all yours. Get in there.
I've always told Katy that, even if anyone would kidnap her when she was abroad, they're giving her back.
They're releasing. They are straight up releasing.
They would be calling me to arrange a pickup and an exchange, and they would still give me money along with her. It's like, oh, please, sir, just take this. Don't say a word. Here's $1 million.
Yes. We just want her out of here. We want her out of here.
We have never, we love America, Statue of Liberty, freedom for all, and we don't want her back.
We want her out of here. Speaking of being out of here, we'll see you all next week. And
Boom,
that's a wrap on the Tiny and Katy Show.